Jewish people had a right to worship their God. They were given certain exemptions. They were allowed to do certain things. They weren't expected to pinch the incense to Caesar, as long as they kept everybody in check. So as long as they didn't do anything stupid, and the Pharisees would know this, and the Pharisees, obviously they had the power, they had the authority and all the rest of it. I wonder whether or not the Herodians, who were not a religious group at all, they were more politically aligned as supporters of Herod's reign and Herod's overarching control. So I suspect that they were possibly a bit concerned that this Jesus of Nazareth could upset the political balance. And if he could upset the political balance, then there would be a number of people that would be in the bullseye for that. One would be the Herodians, one would be the Pharisees. And so they come together because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so I think that they've suddenly find that they've got a common ground in terms of maintaining the status quo with Rome and also ensuring that Herod's rule isn't mucked up in any way, shape or form. So they are unlikely bedfellows, but bedfellows they are. And that is strange, but not surprising.
Needs must. They see Jesus as the greater threat because he's undermining their own status when it comes to the law.
Yeah.
The Sadducees are always the enigma here. We know they're there. They aren't necessarily mentioned here, though.
Pharisees are very different from the Sadducees, drawn from a very different line, and the Sadducees are much quieter in certain areas. I think the Pharisees are the ones that come to the fore in the vast majority of the time because they are the ones that Jesus agrees with most. To be quite honest, the Sadducees were a group who had got long established genealogical privileges and prerogatives that had flowed all the way from...
Yeah, they were the aristocrats.
Yeah, they were. They were like the elite, and the Pharisees were more like the common man, but zapped up a bit with the institution of Torah and all the rest of it. They were less of an elite group than the Sadducees. But they were a very large group. They were connected across the broad swathe of Judaism at the time, very influential. In fact, it was only the Christians and the Pharisees that survived the war with Rome.
The Sadducees were very centred on the temple.
Yes.
They're not mentioned now because we haven't got there yet. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sadducees looked at what was happening over in the Sea of Galilee and thought, well, that's a provincial concern. Let the Pharisees deal with that one.
Let the forbidden carrot crunchers sort it out. It's not going to affect us in the great metropolis of
fig
Jerusalem.
Eaters,
yeah. The carrot crunchers can just crack on with it, and we'll worry about that when we have to worry about it. I don't think Jesus was seen as a threat to the Sadducees at that time.